Got the letters. Oh. What the letters? I can't make a word if I ain't got no letters.
Okay. And then countdown.
And we are back in the room.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello and good evening yet again.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure I know these two from somewhere, and I'm quite positive I know this one from somewhere as well.
Oh no.
Dodgy looking character right there.
I don't know which one. No, yeah. This one. I'll get there one of these days.
Good evening and welcome to our virtually haunted episode, and this is most likely going to be our last virtually haunted episode, which is a part 2 of our two-parter with Peter and Anna from Argyle Ghost Guides and Truth Beyond Paranormal. Firstly, I want to correct myself. Slap on the wrist. It wasn't actually the previous live we did. Oh, hang on, get it right. I felt that as well. I've got to make sure I don't get too close to this border. Oh. It wasn't the last of the Meet the Team episodes. It was, in fact, the penultimate episode. We will be doing another Meet the Team episode on Tuesday evening with one of our other new members, Mike, who will be joining us to answer questions.
Yep. Sounds good. Sounds good. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So this evening, again, part 2, we are back with Peter and Anna again, who have brought their lovely dolly with the handbag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If any of you poor viewers remember Lizzie,
here's Lizzie.
Lizzie is back.
So tonight we have Lizzie again and a few of the other haunted dolls that did not appear last time, and Peter and Anna have said they have a new Dybbuk box.
It's actually the first Dybbuk box that we got. We just haven't showcased it. We done it on AGG. We done a live investigation of this on AGG, but we haven't showcased it to you guys yet.
Okay. Ooh. So that's something else for the viewer to look forward to tonight. I won't be sticking around for long. I'll be on for another 10 or 15 minutes or so, depending on how I'm getting on with myself. So I'll be sticking around with you for as much as I can, and then I will be leaving you to carry on.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So. On with tonight's Virtually Haunted.
Yeah. Okay. So, where shall we start? I'm guessing we should start probably with Lizzie and then work our way up towards the other dolls as well.
Yeah, well, Lizzie was a favourite last time, so we should start with Lizzie again this time.
We shall start with Lizzie this time again.
Properly. She's very particular about her hat. She likes her hat. So, hang on a minute. I've got to get right on this thingy here. Hold on. Get your ribbons out the way, love. Lizzie we showed last time, and she was very she played up a lot to the viewers. Lizzie is just so you can see, she is and I hate doing this, sorry Lizzie, she's completely porcelain. There is no animatronics in her whatsoever, and I'll show you her knickers. There's nothing up here, but Lizzie And I've done that specifically to show, because I have been asked if she's an animatronic doll before, and she's not. And people ask us that because although she's porcelain, her eyes move. Now, and I hate to do this again, but I mean, I can actually there is nothing there that moves. It is a complete porcelain doll. And hopefully when you guys come up to Scotland, you can give that verification to your members on your group.
Yeah.
But Lizzie, on the last time we were on and we investigated her, Lizzie walloped Peter with her
on the back of the sofa,
little handbag. She was on the back of the sofa and she jumped off and hit him. And then she sat in the chair and she smacked him with a handbag, and her eyes kept moving to look at Sam and Wayne. She loves an audience, so if any of you members are there, make some noise for her, ask her questions, and hopefully Lizzie will move her eyes for you. I think she opened her mouth as well, didn't she?
Did. Yeah.
And again, this is not a mouth that can be opened. It's completely porcelain. But she loves to play up, doesn't she?
She does. She likes to hide things too. So
yes.
If anyone has anything go missing, it's not our fault.
Almost a bit like Toy Story. When no one's around, they start coming alive and moving about.
Yeah.
So I mean, Lizzie's story is she was 6 years old when she died. But had what was she? She's 107 now. That was 107 years ago. 207 years ago. My apologies.
Wow.
She came to me after an investigation that we done at a hotel. This little lady was causing a lot of problems. This was a doll that I had picked up, that I had been drawn to. And Lizzie attached herself to this doll. Now she manifested in my house after the investigation that we done, and I had to take advice to see whether it would be okay to let her stay, because I've never allowed a spirit to come and stay that wasn't a spirit of mine, should we say, or a spirit that was in the house that I was living in. And I was told as long as I set boundaries, it was okay. So I kind of gave her the rules and said, you're welcome to stay here. Don't touch my children. You're not permitted to come in my room and things. But she took a liking to the kids' toys because she was a child. And like a typical child, if she didn't get her own way, there were toys would come flying down the stairs. So she had her own little box of toys. And none of the kids could touch none of my children could touch them, and they respected that in every single way, because our children have been brought up to be very respectful towards spirits. We've done a group chat on Messenger with all of Team AGG, and they saw Lizzie pull a little car along the floor. I picked the car up, showed that there were no strings or anything, moved my hands round about it. But she took a liking to this doll and she attached herself into this doll. So every so often you will see Lizzie play up, and hopefully she's going to do it for you guys tonight. She just moves every so often. So that's me. I'm moving her, but I'll keep my hands here so you can see my hands moving. So if she moves her head, you will see that my hands are completely still.
Yeah, I think as well as with last time, it was her mouth and her eyes when they moved as well. And you can, I mean, obviously we've heard that that's a porcelain doll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most porcelain dolls, of that sort of caliber do not have moving eyes or a mouth, because you would see where the mechanism is for the mouth to move.
That's right. I'll just put it up really close so you can actually see she is completely porcelain.
And no word of a lie, on that first feed that we did, you clearly saw her mouth open, and you could see it open enough to actually see that if it was a mechanism there, you could actually see inside the mouth. But obviously, being a porcelain doll, the only way you would have a mechanism there would be there'd be lines down there for the actual mouth to open, and you can clearly see there aren't such lines there, so there is no way that mouth could open in that way, and yet the mouth still opened. And
Yes,
obviously,
there
everyone
is
does.
absolutely no mechanics there whatsoever. She's just porcelain.
Yeah.
Mm.
But you know, like all spirits, you know, sometimes they don't play up on demand. She usually does, so I'm hoping that she'll give.
She usually does if she's got an audience, doesn't she?
Yeah, if she's got an
Yeah.
audience, she.
I think it also depends as well on because last time we had a hell of a lot of people in last time. So I
Yeah.
think it depends as well on the energy that comes through from everybody as well.
Yeah, we've only got Mick and Joe on tonight so far that I can see. So good evening to you guys.
Yes, hello Mick and hello Joe. We've got 3 viewers in at the moment, so I'm hoping that shortly others will come in and join us.
Be nice
So
if you could share it. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say
yeah,
no more.
exactly. If you share it, it may go out to more people as well, and more people will view it. So that would be brilliant if you could do that for us, guys. But yeah, I think that what we'll do is probably just start by asking if any of you guys have got some questions to ask Lizzie, or anything, or if you could ask her to move, that would be brilliant as well. In the chat, so then maybe they can see it.
I'll sit her on the back of the sofa again so that you can see that we're not touching her.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Thanks, Mick. That's brilliant. Thank you for sharing, mate. And yeah, we'll see whether she moves on her own accord, because that's what happened last time. Was they were completely ignoring her, and she obviously did not want that. So she decided to fly at the back of Peter's head, to make herself known, which was just lovely of her. She was like, "Hello."
I must admit, though, we've been a bit disrespectful. We haven't said hello to Lizzie yet. So good evening, Lizzie.
Good evening, Liz. Hello, Lizzie. It's lovely to have you with us again. So, and if you want to show what you can do to the viewers, that would be absolutely amazing. Even though
she does, she loves the camera. She kind of
we have less viewers here tonight. I'm sorry to say,
like a little
Lizzie.
smile on her face now.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we have less viewers tonight, but if you are willing and happy to show the viewers that are here tonight what you can do, that would be amazing.
So probably the best bet is to actually ignore her, because she doesn't like to be ignored, and Peter will introduce you to Annabelle.
Annabelle, I can't
Oh, Annabelle.
Okay, roll back. I will introduce you to Annabelle.
That's not the Annabelle I was expecting.
Annabelle.
Yeah, you were expecting the full Annabelle.
This is a different Annabelle. This is my little Russian princess. So again, this is a doll that I picked up, I was drawn to, and didn't know why until I was driving on a lovely trek back from England and heard a little girl singing in the back of my car.
Wow.
And I pulled over into a service station and just stopped and connected, and the little girl told me she was 12 years old and mom and dad were in a car accident and she can't find them anymore. So I asked her if she knew where she was. She said on the big road, the one with all the lanes on it. I asked her where she was from, and she said City of Glasgow. So with asking her questions and finding out a little bit more, we've done some research, and we found out that 3 years prior to that, there had been a really bad accident on the M8 just not far from Glasgow, in which a mother, a father, and a 12-year-old girl were killed. I tried to connect to find the lost parents of this little girl, and I couldn't, so I could only assume that they have passed over, crossed over, whatever you want to call it. So I invited her to come and stay with me. So in hindsight, I've kind of adopted some little baby spirits, little kiddie spirits, and they kind of have become mine. So she has this doll. So this doll, it doesn't move very often. but she does sometimes change positions. So we have a workstation upstairs where everything is, all the dolls are up here on a shelf on the workstation. And it's the same setup as what I had in my old house. And occasionally she would be in a completely different position than I would put it in. She doesn't like men.
Oh,
She's
okay.
that is the one downfall of her. I don't know the
Yeah.
story that goes behind her as to why she doesn't like men. It might just be certain type of men. I was previously married and she hated my ex-husband. He sat at the workstation one day and was very disrespectful and kind of picked her up, and they said, gosh, she's got an ugly face, and then he ended up with a big scratch down his arm. But she's, over the course of time, she's kind of shown that she doesn't really like men that much, but she's okay with you, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's okay with you. So, and like I said, unfortunately, she doesn't move her head or anything the way Cheeky Chops up here does, but she does move around about the house. And that's the sad story. Yeah, sad story that goes behind Annabelle. So I'll pop her down here, and Peter will introduce you to another one.
Yeah. Okay, we have this little one here.
Wow, you're pretty.
Quite thin, but quite tall.
Yeah.
Her name is Clara.
Wow.
And she died around early 1900s. We haven't found out the exact year, but very early 1900s. I came to get this one again because she was being very naughty where she came from, and they were having quite a lot of problems with her, but we haven't had that many problems at all, have we?
No, she had a bit of an issue with me to start off with.
She had an issue with you a bit, didn't she? But she got to she got to like you.
Till I just kind of said, I'm gonna cuddle you, whether you like it or not. I'm cuddling your familiar, because I call their dollies their familiars, you know, like we have pets as familiars. I said, I'm cuddling your familiar, and you're not gonna hurt me, because I'm not here to hurt you. And after that, it's just calmed down.
I think what turned it for you is you washed her dress, didn't you?
Yes, her dress was really dirty.
Her dress was looking quite manky, and you washed it and done it up and got it really nice, didn't you? And ever since then, it all seems to have changed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now this is it, Clara, that's got the little baby with her.
Yeah.
Because during the first lockdown, when we first discovered that we were going to be moving, we were sort of on the lookout for some furniture.
Oh yes.
And we picked up this old dresser, didn't we?
Yeah, an antique dresser as a fixer-upper project.
And it was one with a mirror on the top.
Oh yeah.
And we went along and got it, didn't we? And got it back home. And then we sort of soon discovered that there was something not very nice living in the mirror, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And and what was living in the mirror was also holding a little baby in there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we managed to get rid of the not very nice thing in the mirror, and we ended up with this little baby.
Oh.
And Clara piped up, didn't she, and said, I would love to take the little baby if I may. So that's what we've done, isn't it?
Yeah. So Clara, the spirit of Clara that has this as a familiar, also has the little baby that we kind of got along with this Welsh dresser type thing. But
incredible.
It's weird, isn't it? Because we found out that the dresser was actually made for this baby that died, didn't we?
Yeah, little baby had died as a
it was Daisy, wasn't it?
Daisy.
Daisy. The baby's name was Daisy.
It was handmade by her father just over 100 years ago.
Yes.
And hand carved with the Dutch daisy that's on it?
Daisies on the door.
The Dutch daisies on the door, and we found out that there was an urn that sat on top of this, and that was the urns of this little tiny baby that had passed, and within days of being born.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lovely dress, isn't it? We've got it in the kitchen.
It is
haven't
now,
we?
yeah. It is now.
Yeah, that's incredible. That is such an incredible story. I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think, like, I don't know, how old is Clara? Is she
Very early 1900s when she died.
Oh wow, okay.
Oh God.
I think she said she was 23.
She's 20 something, early 20s, so. But she was a bit of a scamp, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, she was.
Which is why she was, which is why she used to play up. But ever since she's been here, she's not been too bad, has she?
No.
Not too bad at all. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that's the story of that one anyway.
Do you know her age at all? Like her actual age, or has she never really revealed that to you?
When she died?
Or the age when she died, the age that she was herself in life.
She was early 20s when she died.
Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking if it's like a child with a child, that'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Oh no! Oh God, no! She was in her early 20s when she died. So
I was thinking it was like, I don't know, like a 10-year-old kid or something with another baby. I'd be like,
no, but she was
adamant. It's okay.
Yeah.
So she's early 20s, and that makes sense for that sort of, like, I could understand a 20-year-old woman wanting to sort of have a familiar that looked like that in particular doll, because she looks very made up, doesn't she?
Yes.
Very well presented.
So what things does she tend to do when she's active?
Not very much. Ever since she's got the baby, she's been very, very quiet, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Very quiet.
She wasn't very nice prior to that though.
Oh wow. Okay.
She was one that came to Peter, so you can
she was one that came to me because she was like causing people to feel ill, and things were going missing, and things were like blowing up in the kitchen, and I'll have it, no problem.
It's like,
since she's had the baby there as well, it's calmed right down.
Yeah. We haven't actually. I don't think we've had anything from her since the baby.
No problems.
No problem whatsoever.
That to me sounds like the baby has been the connection for her. It's something she craved and she missed.
Yeah.
And now she's got the baby with her. She's content with that. With having that baby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's quite nice.
Yeah, it feels to me as if like maybe she lost a child or something, and then she's regained that sort of power.
Yeah.
Well, we got to say a hi to a Facebook user and to Mandy Yearly.
Hello, Mandy, and hello the two Facebook users. So tonight we are here with Peter and Anna. I don't know, Mandy, if you have seen Peter and Anna in the past. You may have done. I think that you were there when we were talking with Peter on his Meet the Team. But this is the lovely Anna as well, whose other half, by the way. And she was ill on the day they were going to do one together, but unfortunately she was not feeling very well. So she did her little live earlier, her Meet the Team. So she's done that already if you want to look back at that. But tonight we are here with Peter and Anna looking at the history of their haunted dolls. As Anna had said earlier, she sort of sees them a little bit. I can't remember now what I was going to say conduit. That's not what I was looking for. What do you call them again?
Familiars.
That's it. Thank you. Oh God, that went real quick, didn't it? Like that's a new world record for me. You're losing my mind there. So yeah, and she said I missed the Anna one, so now she's sad. But I think
that's fine because the Anna's Meet the Team will
be
still
there
be on the Truth Beyond Paranormal group anyway. So
yeah, it should be after we end this one. It should be on there right underneath this one, Mandy. By the way, and I think it was you, Mandy, as well, that wanted to ask Anna how she personally got into the paranormal herself last time. I think, wasn't it, Wayne? she
Yeah.
wanted to know that last
Think so,
time. So
yeah.
so she commented to say, how did you get into the paranormal yourself, on Peter's one, even though you weren't there. So so that's what she wanted to know. So there you go. She said, yes, I did ask that. That was me. Anna had actually talked about that a little bit in the last live that we did. So if you wanted to check on that, you're more than able to do so. But it's completely up to Anna if she wants to go through and say it again for you specifically.
It doesn't bother me. I've been into the paranormal since I was 3 years old. Well, that's the earliest memory that I have. I was brought up in a very old farmhouse by my grandparents. And at 3 years old, I had what they thought was an imaginary friend, but it wasn't. It was my little ghosty friend, Lucy, and she stayed with me for many years. I have been paranormal investigating for about 12 years now. I professionally, and I opened up Argyle Ghost Guides about 3 to 5 years ago. And I love what I do. I'm weird, I'm different, and I'm like Marmite. You either like me or you don't like me. But yeah, that's how I got into the paranormal. It's from a very young age.
I'm going to argue with that. I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to argue that comment because I cannot stand Marmite, but I love it on roast potatoes.
Yeah.
Marmite is absolutely gorgeous on roast potatoes. Got to try it.
I'll try it. I'll try it one day because I actually like Marmite. So yeah, I'm a bit weird like that. That is cool, Anna, she says. Okay. Thank you, Mandy. Nicola's finally here.
Hey.
Nicola, hello.
Hi, Nicola.
I can't find it. I can't find you. I don't know where you are. So now she's here. So hello, Nicola. It's lovely to see you here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We finally found each other, so it's all good. Yeah, I do on toast.
Trust me, it is nice on roast potatoes. You don't have to add too much. Just put a little bit on the top and then mix it up. Just let it baste over the roast potatoes. Job done.
No.
It is nice.
No.
I can't stand Marmite on toast. I hate it. But if you get it the right amount on the roast potatoes, it's really nice.
Works a treat. I'm going to try it at some point and get back to you on that.
Always try something once. If you don't like it, you don't have to try it again.
Sounds pretty cool.
Anyway, we weren't doing a cooking show, so I don't know how come we've all of a sudden turned into Gordon Ramsay.
Well, you never know.
So have we got any other dolls to see?
Yes, we have.
Tonight.
Introduce you to Sophie. Sophie is the little bit that packs a hell of a punch. Sophie is tiny.
Very tiny.
And Sophie came to me within a glass case and had bound shut with a spell from a witch. She was nicknamed the Scratcher. She wouldn't just leave you with scratches. She would the Scratcher.
The Scratcher.
The person. The person that had her called her the Scratcher. She wouldn't just leave you with scratches, she would leave you with gouges. And the person that had her gave her to somebody who very quickly and promptly passed her to me. There you go, don't want it, you have it. And as I said, she was in a glass case. And I thought it was a shame because she's actually got a very, very pretty little face on her. So I thought, right, I just need to find out more about this little girl, or little lady, or little boy, or whoever is with this doll. So I spent many, many nights with many, many scratches on my arms and my hands, and eventually got to the root of the problem. It is another little girl that's with this one, and she is 7 years old. And unfortunately, this little girl was sexually, physically, and mentally abused by her father. She was kept in a cupboard under the stairs and eventually died of starvation and neglect. So she has a real hatred. Apparently, her mother knew what was going on, chose to turn a blind eye to it. This is one of these cases where I'm not going to investigate what I've been told by the spirit in conjunction with news articles and things, because that just, having children of my own, that breaks my heart. She had never ever in her life experienced any form of love. So I, at that point, said, well, you know, you're in this doll for a reason. You've been spelled into this doll by whatever witch or shaman or whatever, and I think you just need a cuddle. And I took a big scratch down my face for it, and I just held her and held her and held her and held her. And eventually I could just hear just this little child crying. And I've got quite so upset again now, actually. I could just hear this little child crying. And she asked what it was. And I said, that is called love. That is what you need. And you're very badly wronged. So I'm going to be your mama now. And I'm going to look after you. And I have never had her back in our glass case since then. She doesn't cause any problems unless she can sense that there is somebody bad within the household. Then she'll cause problems. But ever since I basically said to her, this is what you call love, this is what you need, she has settled down and she has been able to be out of the glass case that she came to me in. Little Sophie.
So we have a question here from Mandy that says, what doll, whether it's a she or a he, has given you any sinister instincts?
Sinister instincts.
Or sinister feelings, maybe. Would be a better way of it's like, here he is again.
Yeah, little Sophie right back at the start. When I first made the choice to remove her from you couldn't feel anything through the case. You couldn't feel any emotions. You couldn't feel any energy or anything through it. I was taking the word on people that were saying, you know, she's bad. I, don't want her, take it away. When I removed the glass casing, I felt quite sick. Initially, I felt pressure up here and in my temples. And then, like I said, I started to get scratches on my hands. But, as we talked about with Wayne earlier on, paranormal investigators don't run away from things. They delve into them and they find out why. And that's why I've spent the longest time with this little girl than I have with any of the other dolls that's come to me. And I'm glad I did, because I found out the reasons and I calmed her down and I helped her. She doesn't want to be crossed over. She's happy living here in our home with us, and it's nice that she is at peace now, and that she can feel the love. But she is definitely, for the size of her, she was definitely, that's why we say she's tiny but packed a hell of a punch. She was definitely the worst, both physical feeling and mental feeling that you would get from this little girl.
But then Callie,
I think part of that as well would have been because she was obviously put in the case, and the spell itself would have been put on the case, which would have meant that she wouldn't have been able to express any feelings for anybody to pick up. And she wouldn't have picked up any feelings off of anybody else, and she'd have been powerless to have done anything. And I think, obviously, since you've taken her out of the case, she's now learning and knowing what love really means and feels like. And that's why she doesn't want to move on, simply because she loves the situation she's in now. Yeah. And she's making up for what she never got in the first 7 years of her life. And I think that's quite a nice little
that's a beautiful thing,
a gift. I think that's a nice little gift, isn't it? Is she's gone from such a horrible and terrible, nightmarish life, and obviously she passed over, and as a result, there was a lot of anger towards her father and her family for not protecting her the way they should have. And now it's turned around the other way, which I think that's nice.
Yeah.
She's very, very special. And you know, so I try, you know, if any dolls come to us, I try to find out, with going with what I get told from the spirits and what we investigate on it. I do things like I'll look back on police records and newspaper files to try and coordinate things that have happened, as long as it goes back in an era that we can do that, obviously. But I just could not bring myself to do it with this wee one because, you know, like I said, being a mum myself and, you know, the whole child abuse thing, and it still gives me a lump in my throat when I tell her story, because it's probably one of the worst ways possible that a child could go. I feel very humbled and very privileged that I've been the one that's managed to break through to her, where everybody has just went, nope, don't want her, nope, don't want her. I've persevered, and it did take a good long while, but you know, to get there in the end and put peace to the little spirit has been incredibly rewarding for me.
Yeah, and you've done something that nobody else was prepared to do, because, you know, obviously people have been given the doll and they've gone, no, I don't, because they've heard the history behind the doll. They've heard, you know, the stories of what it's capable of doing. And you have become the first person that has actually paid attention to the doll, looked into what the spirit's needs were and why it's in the situation it's in, and you've done something about it. Whereas everybody else was just literally, no, I don't want it, pass it on. And it's just gone from one person to the other until it's got to you. I reckon you were the intended target in the first place.
Quite possibly. Everything happens for a reason. But I suppose in Sophie's mind, for her to be shunned and turned away again is yet another form of abuse for her, really.
Yes, it just added to her anger.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that, you know, she's being passed around, and it's as if, you know, the feeling I get from her is that she's like, well, why does nobody want me? You know, is it me? Am I the problem? Why does nobody want me? And it's that anger that she's feeling, you know. No wonder why she would lash out like she did, because, you know, even where they've protected her in a case, it's like, once again, I'm just being like shut away.
Well, it weren't so much protecting her, it was protecting others.
But but she won't see it that way, probably. She'll see it as, you know, I've been shut away again. I don't deserve this.
The thing is, with any normal person, if they'd have been handed a doll and told the history of what she's capable of doing, people are automatically go, nah, I don't want that, because, you know, but for display purposes, if they were just going to stick it on a shelf in the glass case, you know, that's down to them. But then they've got the warning not to take her out the case. So it's down to them whether they took her out the case and paid the consequences. Whereas Anna's actually looked into why this has happened.
Yeah, she's gone for
and you've done something about it, and as a result, her attitude to people has now changed.
Once I took her out of the case, I didn't have the heart to put her back in, despite the fact I knew she was scratching. I couldn't put her back in the case because I knew that she had been basically shoved under the stairs in a cupboard and kept there. Well, no better than putting her, she can see in a glass case. She's still shut away. So, I mean, I literally sat for hours on end one night, and you know, I could feel the scratches on my face. I looked like a cat had mauled me completely on the hand. And I just kept saying, I'm not letting you go. I'm not letting you go. And that's all I kept saying to her was, you know, this is what this is. You need to feel love. You need to understand. And then, like I said, eventually I just heard her crying, and she said, what is this? And I said, this is love. This is what you need. This is what you need to feel. And you don't need to worry about your earth mama, because I'm going to be your mama now, and I'm going to look after you and love you. And it was just, as soon as I done that, the air completely lightened in the room, and I started crying because I was obviously picking up on her emotions. But the emotions that I felt were like total relief. I felt like, you know, a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, although it wasn't my burden to bear, it was hers. But, you know, she's never ever been back in a box since then, apart from when we were moving. But I did sit and hold her and connect with her and say to her, you have to go in a box just for a couple of hours because we're moving to a new house, and explained it to her, and she was okay with it. So
that's
so
good.
that,
That's amazing.
that was
You then.
that's
There's
my
trust there.
Is it William connected with?
Yeah, we have another doll, William. He's the only boy doll that we have, but the attachment with this doll is so connected with William. She
Aww.
does not like to sit.
Away.
No, she doesn't like to sit with the rest of the dolls, but William's quite a big doll, and she will sit quite happily on William's knee like this. And she gets quite upset if anybody moves her from William. Most of the dolls that we have, they're okay with my kids picking them up. She doesn't like to be picked up by the kids, but she does like an adult to give her a bit of a cuddle every now and then, just not children. I don't think she actually knows what children are, because, you know, she was kept locked away. I don't think she knows what a child is. So she's a great wee doll, and a great wee spirit, and we adore her.
So
Okay, well, Mandy's. Oh,
sorry, we're both quickly like. So Mandy here has said, how many dolls have you got?
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I've got 5 here.
There must be another.
There's about another seven
upstairs.
upstairs. And we have one in a Dybbuk box.
right, and the second part of Mandy's question was they've all got real life stories behind them, haven't they?
Yeah. As I said, Mandy, with every doll that we've got, where it's been possible, we've investigated and we've found out how and where the spirit from the doll originated from. When we've done things like go into archives and news and things like that to find out exactly and pinpoint the location and the accident or whatever's happened to them, where it's possible to do so. I have the collection of dolls, and Peter had his own collection of dolls before we got together as a couple.
Kind of merged them together, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We merged them together. But out of all the dolls I had, Sophie was the only one that I just couldn't bring myself to actually look into newspaper clippings to find out. But all the rest of my own dolls, I have done.
That's good. That's exactly what I feel that they need, though, because a lot of the time I feel like they feel like their stories have sort of been forgotten, and it's like, and everyone doesn't really like to be forgotten, you know. That's why people that don't in particularly, you know, those people that are scared of death, I feel that they're scared of death because they don't want to just disappear. And I feel that sometimes some, you know, especially young spirits, I feel a lot of the times they will feel like they kind of will get a bit forgotten. So it's nice that there's, you know, they're all happy. I feel that somebody's come along to actually pay them some sort of respect and attention after all those years. So it's lovely that you guys can do that.
My children play with it, but they don't play with them. They're very, very respectful, but my daughter in particular, Kira, we have one doll who we nickname Raggy because she's a little rag doll. And she actually sleeps with my daughter in her bed. Yeah. My daughter, she doesn't sleep so good, so we give her Raggy, and Raggy will go into bed with her. And my daughter has said that sometimes she hears her humming to her. It's almost as if she's trying to lull her to sleep. But 9 times out of 10, you know, Raggy's missing. She's in my daughter's bed, and we don't have an issue with that at all. Our kids they're brought up to understand the truth about the paranormal, the truth about spirits, and they respect them. But you know, they love nothing more than going up and holding the dolls and giving them a cuddle and things, and we don't have an issue with them doing that either.
I think the spirits in the dolls, what dolls as well, will respect the children more as well, because obviously most of the spirits, some of the spirits in the dolls are children themselves. So obviously, when your children play with them, they're learning something as well that they never received when they were alive. So it's an experience for those spirits as well as what your children are experienced by actually being with the dolls.
Yeah.
Okay. Nicholas said, what was the first doll you first received?
The first one I got was Hattie. I think it was the first doll that we showed you last time, the one with the crackled face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the first one that
I remember.
I got.
Pretty cool.
The first one I got was Lizzie.
Yeah, that's why she's so attached to you, Anna.
Yeah.
The first one, they just kind of
they find their way to us. I mean, to be honest with you, I was not keen on dolls, never even as a child. I didn't really like dolls very much. And again, it was that weekend that I was with down in Sheffield with Dustin, who was my one of my admins. We were going around different haunted locations and things, and we were at a car boot sale, and there was this woman who had a whole boot full of porcelain dolls, and I kind of walked up to them thinking, oh god, and then all of a sudden I just stopped, and she was like, oh, it's £2 for £1, love. And I said, can I have her? And she says, no, you need to take two. I says, well, you can keep the extra 50 pence, I just want her. But she insisted that I take two dolls, and I took this one here as well. And then, like I said, she showed up in my car, and Lizzie took that one. And that was the start of it for me. William was the next one that I got. He's my only boy doll. And I was in my old house, I was cooking tea, and I kept hearing my spirit guides in my head telling me that I had to go to the charity shop, and I'm like, I'm trying to cook tea, will you just give me a minute, please? But they went on and on and on, so I downed what I was doing, I got in the car, and I was guided to go to a charity shop that I don't ever go to. I went in, and I'm looking around. Now, this place is tiny, absolutely tiny. And I'm looking around, and the woman says, can I help you? You're looking for something? I said, yes. She says, what are you looking for? I said, don't know. I was guided over to a box that was in the corner. She said, I said to her, can I have a look in this box? And she says, oh, we've not priced anything up in there. And I says, well, I just, what I need's in that box. So I had a rummage around. And in the bottom of the box was a long, where am I going this way? A long pink box about that size. And I opened it up, and there was this doll. And my guide said to me, that's it, you've got to take this. So I said to the woman, can I have this doll? And she said, oh, well, £15 be okay? Yep, no problem. Took the doll home. And thought, right, there's a reason why you've come to me. So let's go for it. Let's see where we go from here. And I found out that there was a boy called William, and I will keep the second name private because he's actually a local boy, who was 15 years old and autistic, and he drowned in a loch, which was quite interesting because 2 years prior to getting William, we done an investigation at a hotel on the banks of a loch. And one of my team members got communication with a boy called William, who was 15 and drowned in the loch. So that's the story of William, who was the third one that came to me, and they just kind of flew in from there, don't they?
Yeah.
I like that. That's a nice little connection there with the investigation and the doll itself. That's just more than a coincidence, isn't it?
It is, because I've just kind of kept the second name and the specific location private because I actually know the family of the boy who drowned. So that's why I'm kind of keeping that a little bit private. But they just seem to find their way to us, don't they?
Yep.
Whether it be people that say, I've got this doll and I don't want it, or we could be, passing a shop window and it's like, I've got to go in there for some reason, and we're just automatically drawn to it. It's kind of Kira done it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, our daughter. I try and keep my kids' witchiness right down as far as I can, but we were down in Suffolk, and there's an old kind of retro shop down there.
Yep.
And we went in, and she says, "Oh, Mummy, please can I have that doll?" And I said, "No, not today, love. Not today. I've spent a fortune on you today. No, you're not getting any more." And she's like, "But I have to have it, Mummy. I have to have it." And I'm giving it you don't have to have anything. You don't say that to me. That's not how it works. It's please and thank you all the way. And her wee face just fell. And she went, "But she needs to come home with us, Mum. You don't understand." So I went back into the shop and I picked up this doll. And Peter said, "She's right. She needs to come home with us." And she sat with her for an entire 10 hours in the car, holding this doll like this, not letting it go, not letting anyone have it. And she's now part of the collection as well. She does have an attachment with her. It's Lily, isn't it? Lily's the name of the spirit that goes with that one.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm just, you're like, oh, I'm going off kilter. Oh, no.
That's right. It's okay. It's okay. The ship's sinking.
Down I go. Love it. Oh.
Well,
yeah, so
I haven't seen Lizzie move yet.
Yeah,
I keep looking.
I've seen as if like her hat has sort of moved a couple of times.
Gone a bit wonky.
Yeah, so the hat seems to have moved a couple of times, but other than that, not very much has happened.
I don't think she's big enough audience. The bigger an audience she's got, the more she'll play up for the camera. But
yeah, I have a feeling that she will at some point, because I'm getting some weird, very cool but weird vibes at the moment over my way, which is what tends to happen. It happened last time as well. I didn't tell you because I was because I was with my mother, wasn't I, last time? So I was down in Sussex last time with my mum, by the way, viewers that are watching, when we saw Lizzie last. And my mum was like, "No, don't tell them, because then they'll think they've done something wrong. You can't tell them that." And I was like, she's probably watching right now thinking that is not how I sound. But yeah, one of the weird things was that after that had happened, my mum was like, "I feel really, really emotional and I feel really weird. I just feel a bit odd and off at the moment." And I was like, "Oh, because she never ever really, she feels stuff, she knows things, she heals, she does a lot of healing and Reiki and treatments, but she never really likes to open herself up fully to anything." So for her to come to me and say, "Hey, I was feeling a bit weird actually after that. I don't know, like," because she wasn't in on it or anything, so she wasn't watching what was going on or anything, but she said, "I just feel like there's a child that's trying to connect with me at the moment." And I was like, I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Well, it could be Lizzie possibly, because she was talking to us through use of movement and everything. She was moving a lot on camera." And she was like, "That would make sense." She said, "I had absolutely no idea that you were like connecting with an actual spirit of a child." So she said, "I just have like this weird sort of feeling like childish play going on at the moment." And I was just like, "Yeah, that would be that then." And then she got really freaked out, bless her. So she was like, "Oh my god, I've picked up on things. I don't pick up on anything usually." And I was like, "It's okay, Mum. She just wants you to know that, that even though you weren't watching, she knows you're there." My mum's like, "Oh, good." But yeah, no, it was all good. It was quite funny. It was just that just really interested me. And then when I've been looking at her and watching her after you put the other dolls down, I've been sort of watching her, just making sure that she's not moving and stuff like that, and because I would say something then. And then suddenly, and this is what happened last time, a couple of times when I've been on live with Wayne, I've got what sounds like things on the outside on my balcony are moving. And I've just had that again a couple of times. If you've seen me look behind me, and I'm like, okay. that's why. Yeah, so things move around on my balcony, it seems, and that's what's
Yeah,
happening.
but that
at the
last
moment.
time things didn't just move; they looked like they'd been thrown across your balcony.
Yeah, so we had things and it sounded like they're being thrown around, and I was like, well, there's no wind, so what the hell's going on? But I've just had it again. I don't know if you heard it. Hi, Mark. Did you hear like something had been dragged across on the balcony earlier, or like the railings had been knocked? Okay, he didn't hear that. But yeah, I heard like, yeah, it's a weird sort of tinny noise, isn't it? And then it kind of goes like that, and it goes on forever out there when that happens. And usually, if the wind is really high or something, it will knock something into it, and it's that sort of sound. But it's weird because there's no wind at the moment, and nothing's fallen over out there. And yeah, it's just like
looks like it's getting a bit smoggy in your living room.
Yeah, that'll be Mark. That'll be Mark. With his vapes, with his many vapes. Wow, it's just that. Yeah, that's me and my smoke machine.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about Mandy's question here. Can you tell with those type of dolls sold in shops if they have a past? Because obviously, spirit will attach itself to anything. Really, it doesn't have to be a doll in the shop, does it?
No.
You know, it can be a doll in the shop, or a doll in a boot sale, or just basically in anybody's possession.
Could be a plate, could be jewelry, anything really.
Yeah, you know, it's probably, you know, obviously someone like Anna would probably be able to tell whether there is an attachment to ones that are being sold in shops if a spirit is attached to it. But it's doesn't necessarily have to be new dolls or just in specifically old dolls.
It can be anything. I mean, like Peter said, we had a Welsh dresser that we bought for a do-it-up purpose, and that came with something very nasty and a baby as well. So, you know, it doesn't have to be dolls. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It could be anything. I have a handheld mirror. I think I showcased it on the last one that we done, which has a spirit attachment to it. Mirrors are very common, actually, for attachments. Very, very common things. It doesn't matter whether it's an old mirror you buy or a new mirror you buy. It might have something with it. But it could be absolutely anything.
Yes, I believe you had one, didn't you, Sam?
I did, yeah. Like literally, Peter. So Mandy will know about this actually. If Mandy, you're still listening, but Mandy has known that I've been ill for absolute years. I mean, I do have a couple of conditions as it is anyway, but this bastard is the only way that I can call it, because it's true. Really caused me a hell of a lot of havoc, a serious amount of havoc with illness and stress and depression. And yeah, I didn't have any idea of why this was going on. I didn't know if it was spiritual or whether it was just me in general. And yeah, and then Peter just, there she goes. Did you see that? She just went, bye. She does that.
That happened as I was looking at the comments, so I didn't see it.
No, I saw it that time. I did see it. You know what's weird though? The only way I can describe it is it's like she's there and then she's not. Do you get what I mean when I say that? It's like so freaking quick. That's not possible, Lizzie. That was so quick. It was like speed of light. Damn. That was going against the laws of physics, my friend. Cool. Thank you very much, Liz. It was because I was talking about something else and not you, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, their eyes just moved.
Yeah, eyes going right.
No, as you said that, Sam, her eyes moved. Now we're thinking in reverse here, aren't we? So the eyes moved to the right, which on the video would be to the left.
Her head's moving.
Her eyes moved as well.
Her head's moving, isn't it?
Thank you,
Can you see
Lizzie.
it? Thanks very much, Lizzie. That's amazing. I know you wanted me to start talking again about you. I know. We were talking about you a little bit earlier. Did you come and have a little moment with my mum last time? Were you the one that was giving her some jip?
That just sounds so wrong, Sam.
Giving her some problems. Being very playful, weren't you? It was good though. She didn't mind too much. It was amazing because it didn't freak anybody out. It was just it is what it is sort of thing. It was quite cool.
I don't know whether it's the camera or my tired eyes, but I keep seeing a green hue coming up from just beneath her chin and to the side of her face, where on Anna's side.
Green hue. Yeah, there it is.
Every now and then there's a green hue. At the moment it's on her forehead and on her chin. But a minute ago it was literally all on her, from her chin downwards and all the way up the side of her face, that on the side that Anna's on.
It's kind of like a
Now it's gone.
light. It's like a light was being shined on it a little bit.
I don't know, like an aura around her. It's come back again. So I'm not too sure. Like I say, I'm not too sure whether it's the camera and the pixels within the camera. But now the green shading has gone literally right across the top of her forehead, across to the bottom of her eyes, down her nose, and around her mouth. So her cheek on Peter's side is still skin coloured. The rest of it is all a funny greeny bluey colour.
Yeah.
Slowly changing back to her skin colour on the bottom half of her face.
Yeah, it's like she's got like this top half is green, but the rest of it is normal.
But it wasn't a second ago. It was just a cheek on Peter's side.
And it seems to be getting and now it's going down.
It comes and goes.
That's weird. Yeah, I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then the camera sort of pixelates a little bit, but then quickly comes back in. But this colour change on her face, it's not pixelating, and it's not just flashing on and off. It's gradually, it grows and then it disperses and then it grows again.
Yeah, it's back again.
Now it's going again, but it's now her eye on Peter's side has gone back to normal. And right across, it's just her chin and the forehead now.
Yeah,
I think she's moving her eyes a little bit. I mean, I'm sitting behind her, so I'm having to like watch on the screen, but every so often it's kind of looking like her eyes are moving ever so slightly.
Yeah,
it's just weird because suddenly
eye on Anna's side has just moved towards Anna. And that's just freaky on its own. My daughter does that. She can move her eyes both eyes independently, and that's just really freaky.
I was pretty sure as well that I saw an eyebrow just literally move up and then down again as well on the left side towards from my end, of course, so towards Peter. It was like the whole eyebrow just moved up and then that was weird. Okay, I will be honest, that was quite strange. Oh,
that just looked like her chin moved.
Yeah, I was watching the top of where the hat was, and it was like she moved her whole head round because I could see that the hat was moving like that. Like, hello.
There's a ghost behind me.
Yeah, that's just weird. Like,
She just likes seeing herself on camera.
I think so.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to have to love you and leave you all, guys, because I'm sort of just about this close to going unconscious because of the heavy week that I've had. So I'm going to leave everybody in the capable hands of Sam, Peter, and Anna, and lovely Lizzie. And I will see you all again on Tuesday. So if anybody else has any questions to ask Anna, Peter, and Sam, feel free to do so. And I will see you all again soon. But I haven't been too well this week and haven't had much sleep, and it's just about ready to catch up on me. So I'm going to disappear now before you end up with just seeing the entrance to my bathroom and me hitting the floor.
Okay, then.
All right.
See you later.
So love to you all, guys, and speak to you all soon.
See you next week, mate. Have a good rest. Oh, he's gone. That didn't matter. That didn't matter at all. Oh God. Yeah. So I was talking about that mirror, wasn't I, beforehand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Peter had picked up on the fact that I had a mirror. I was like, yes, I have far too many mirrors in this very, very small flat. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. It was just like they might as well have just built this place out of mirrors. It would have made more sense. But yeah, because I was thinking, of all the ones that I've got, around the place on the walls, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, but they're all so modern, they're all. I know you guys have said it doesn't matter. It can be modern and it can be older. It doesn't matter either way, which I've now figured out very quickly. But it was just like, I don't know. I was thinking to myself, no, I don't really have any mirrors as such. And you were like, no, it was for a photo shoot or something. You had it from an antique store, and I was like, did I? And then I look in the back room, and I'm like, oh God, I'm not going to say F's sake because I can't do that. I'm not allowed. Wayne has forbidden me. But I looked in the corner and I was like, oh, for God's sake, how could I have forgotten that? So basically, guys that are still watching at the moment, I had been given or gifted a mirror for my wedding. And it had basically, they wanted to go all fairy tale fantasy with it because that was the style of our wedding. And she had written like our names on it and the date of our wedding and everything like that in calligraphy pen. And then I decided that I was going to keep it for photo shoots because it was an antique, like wall mirror. And I'm thinking, yeah, that'd be awesome for photo shoots. Don't do that. Like, just straight up, don't do that. It's a bad idea. As I then figured out, because Peter was saying to me, I have a feeling that there's something in there. It's not a very good spirit. And then we did a whole night here in my flat with TBP, based around that mirror. And what came through was a very aggressive male, which Peter Fox, one of our other team members, was trying very, very hard to coax out of the mirror to get him to basically go away. And it just ended up still in the mirror. So he obviously did not want to leave. And I was advised, you've got to get bay leaves and put them over the mirror. And you've also got to, make sure that you put dragon's blood on around the house and do all that instead of sage. Now, apparently Peter Fox was like, no sage, no, don't sage. Like, if you sage it, it's going to get worse. And I was like, okay, I've always been told to sage everywhere. I now know not to do that if it's a bad spirit. I was like, well, damn, I've been doing it wrong all these years. Whoopsie. So it was just a weird realization that I'm not going crazy, which is absolutely brilliant. So thank you very much, Peter, for allowing me. I am crazy, but in a good way, not in a demonic crazy.
I think you said your cats were scared of the mirror as well, didn't you?
So they did not like that mirror at all. They wouldn't go near it. Floki especially, which actually I haven't even thought about this until just now, but Floki is a completely different cat since that entity has been gone. Since you guys have got rid of the entity, Floki is completely a different sort of cat now. He was very timid, very shy, very scared of everybody. You know, he was affectionate, but you could tell he couldn't go to his full potential with, you know, loving humans, because he was just constantly worried about something. And as soon as that left, he's just been completely different. So that's a pretty cool thing to be able for him to get a bit closer to everybody, which is lovely. And another thing that we had as well is if there is a spirit around, we know very quickly, because Ragnar decides to go very strange. And there has been a while recently whereby he decided that he didn't want to go into the bedroom with us anymore. He's like, no, I'm staying here. I'm not going in there. You can't get me in there even if you tried, sort of thing. And then I found out that the reason why was because the little girl was basically abusing him. she was running around after him and being naughty, and like Ragnar's like, would you just like go away? Like, come on, I don't want this for myself, please, can you get me out of here? I just want to move now. And yeah, it was just a bit sad for him, because he's usually really a very loving character. Ragnar, he's a beautiful cat, and I mean, he scratched the life out of Mark one night, which he never does. We picked him up and he just went, no, just get off me, I've got to get out of here, sort of thing. And he just ran straight for the door out of the bedroom. And then he just sat there outside the bedroom, just looking in like, nah, I can't go in there. Yeah, so we've still got some stuff around us, that is for certain, that like to play up. But luckily, nothing that has been unable to be handled by me or Mark. You know, we kind of live with them, kind of like you guys do in a way. We don't feel scared of them. They certainly don't make me depressed, which is a good sign. What really was the telltale sign for me, and I can say this in front of the guys, I've said it quite, you know, a number of times before in the past, which I wasn't able to before. Mandy would understand it, because Mandy is actually one of my models, and she is now actually an advisor for my photographic team. So Mandy will understand when I say that I haven't been myself for absolute years, as it is anyway. You know, it's very up and down with me because of my health situation and stuff like that. So there is moments where I can get quite down because of that. But where it comes down to like the depression side, it took a very dark turn with the other thing that was around. I don't think Peter would understand where I'm coming from when I said that, because I don't know if I really actually told Anna and Peter everything. Don't think I have ever felt a presence when I have stayed there. Yeah, that's because it's gone. The two kids you are now witnessing got rid of that presence, Mandy, before you came and stayed with us a few times. So we're very lucky, really, because when we had people here a couple of times, there was a couple of individuals. We had Abby, who stayed on the couch here, and she was like, I can't sleep. And I asked her why, and she said, there's just something that's looming over me the whole time. She said, it's just staring at me while I'm trying to sleep. And I was like, okay. So she said, is it okay if like I basically, you know, I'll just stay up on the couch, sort of thing, and until I get tired enough that that thing won't bother me anymore. I'm so tired, I'll just fall asleep. And I was like, yeah, go for it. You know, if you want to read or, you know, watch some TV or something, just do what you feel's best. But yeah, she was quite put off by that thing. And that was the same thing that was, I mean, I've never ever I've been ill all my life, guys, like it's just something that I was born with. Yay! Oh, just good. That's just what you want, isn't it? Like, yeah, thanks. If there is a God, you really did a bad job here. Come on, fix me. But yeah, it's just one of those things, you know, you kind of get used to it in a way. And I've kind of gone through life. It's like, yeah, it is what it is. And I've managed, you know, I've got through things and I've came out the other side. But it's like with that, whatever spirit was around at that point, it's the first time I think where I've actually got to a point where I was like, yeah, I can't cope anymore.
Yeah.
And that side of the depression, whereby it got so dark that I was like, right, you know, I was on the phone to my mum, and my mum's basically trying to talk me out of killing myself. I've never gone that far.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what is that? Because it didn't feel like it was me. It felt like there was someone else almost trying to coax me into it, if you get what I mean when I'm saying that. It's like, that's what you want, that's how it's going to happen, and you don't, you know, you don't mind leaving things behind. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not how I feel. You know, I'm like trying to go against whatever is in my head at the time, and I'm like, that's not me. Because I'm not a quitter. I don't just go, no, I'm not doing, you know, if I feel sick, I'm like, well, it will get better. Or there'll be times that I will really cherish where I don't want anything like that to happen. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, oh, okay, somebody doesn't want me saying that. Well, I'm going to say it anyway. But, you know, it was just so weird to have that in your head, because I was just sitting there thinking to myself, that is definitely not me. Where's that coming from? Because and that was where I started to get scared, and it's the first time I've ever been scared of the paranormal. Is when I'm thinking, okay, so this thing is actually able to tell me what I want to do. That's not good. Where the hell did that come from? And why did I allow that to come that close to me? And I was like, the only reason that I can think is that I was so sick that I just didn't have any power anymore left in me. I mean, you know, it was a really shit time, I'll be honest. Sorry, said shit. And it was just not a very nice time, to be fair. And I think it just, you know, that kind of weighed me down then. And then this thing was able to sort of take over further, you know. And yeah, it was very strange, because like I said, it was just never ever something that I've ever thought of before doing to myself. So I was just sitting there one night in the bath just thinking, what, like, this just doesn't make any sense. And that's why I contacted you guys, because I was like, I don't think that this is me just thinking these things. And then you were like, okay. And yeah, and then Anna came in and like swooped that thing away somehow. I don't even know how she's done what she did, but
kind of magic.
Yeah, she's got some real amazing magic wand right there. Like, I was like, holy hell, cool. And yeah, I have never ever had any of those sorts of thoughts since. Thought anything like that again. So it's very strange, very strange. Before you got rid of that thing as well, I think I told Peter last time, there was a lady who tried to help me the way that you have.
Yeah.
And she herself got so sick that she ended up bedridden for 5 months. So she said, she said, whatever was around you, she said that, yeah, floored me, because she herself has only started to sort of, I feel that you yourself, Anna, you're very gifted, very powerful. She's only just coming into her power, you know, this girl, this lady. So she herself is a psychic medium, amazing at what she does, but she's just not quite there yet. And she tried, and yeah, didn't go very well for her. She was like, oh no, this was not, because she's also a really ill individual, so she just basically screwed it. dear. So yeah, so she ended up making herself more ill again, which was not great for her. So yeah, kind of left me in a bit of a predicament then, because yeah, the thing got more powerful at that point, which is why I contacted you guys, because of course she tried to get rid of it and it didn't want it. So yeah, it just made it worse. So that's why I was like, no, I'm going to contact Peter quick. Help me. But yeah, it was amazing what these guys are able to do, and you know, that's why having Anna and Peter as part of this team, and I invited Anna to come and sort of be part of it, you know, partner of Peter, partner of TVP. I invited her along as well, but it's amazing to be on board, because
I admit it, you only done it because you're a damn good Ghostbuster.
well, yeah, that too. I mean, you know, I wasn't expecting that, so yeah, it was quite amazing, really.
That's what my kids say at school. When they started their new school, their teacher said, "Oh, so what does your mum do for a living?" She's a Ghostbuster. Oh, and she's a witch as well. And the teacher was like, "Awesome, we love witches, excellent."
But that is such a good way for them to be, because a lot of the time down here in London sort of area, you say that you're a witch and they're like, right, we're going to call social services. And you're like, what? No, this is a natural thing. Like, come on. Oh God, not good. Yeah, they're a bit backwards down here in the south, I'll tell you that right now. So what did Mandy say? Yes, this is true, but I think I understand because of what my Sam went through with her depression. Yeah, depression is not a fun thing. Like, when you go through it properly, it's a bit daunting. So that's why I was just so grateful to have friends that knew what they were doing, because I thought I knew what I was doing and I obviously didn't. So yeah, that didn't work for me very well. I know what I do. I don't know what these guys do. They're a whole different kettle of fish, these two. So they're good at what they do.
Oh, you don't want to know.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah, you don't want to know what they get up to. That is for certain. But yeah, they are great at what they do. Anyway, I've talked enough, so I'm going to shut the hell up now. And
yes, Sam,
yep.
My phone battery is going to run out in about 2 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Unfortunately, so it's on about 4%, so it's going to go. It could go any time. So we're going to have to cut it off, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no, that's all good. That's not a problem at all, because I was going to say that it's getting on for sort of the time where we should have ended it anyway. So it's not a problem at all. Okay. But yeah, you will hopefully see Peter and Anna again real soon when we are going to go back out. We're going to be going back out very soon, guys, to go back to Dunwich. So we're doing a revisit of Dunwich, and I'm hoping that I can take these two lovely people with us on that journey, live with us. So hopefully you'll be able to do that for you guys, so then they can come and experience the night with us all, and give us any insight that they've got into.
I know the place well.
Yeah, he knows the place quite well now, because he's been there even before I did, which was a bit annoying.
Dunwich, yeah.
Ah, right, yeah, no.
Yeah, and then the sand huts. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have them hopefully back with us for that. So I will let these two amazing people go, and we will be back soon on the 8th of May. Come on, Sam, you can get it right. So yeah, it's going to be awesome, and Mick is going to be with us as well. So that will be the first time that you guys get to really see Mick in the flesh as well, because he's going to be joining TVP at that point. So yeah, we will see you guys then, and hope that you've enjoyed tonight, getting to meet all of the goals, and seeing Lizzie once again smack Peter in the back of the head.
Again,
move on camera again tonight. So yeah, and in future we'll make sure that we go on up to Scotland to go see meet with Lizzie for the first time, see if she does anything for
Mhm.
us then as well.
Definitely.
So yeah, we will speak soon, guys. It was lovely having you all with us tonight, and I look forward to doing some more with these guys when we're at Dunwich. So I will say good night
Okay.
now. Night,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.